Season 2, Club Grief. Let's talk. Let's share. Grief. Grief as a disability. What do you think about that? When I say grief is a disability, and I'm not talking about the kind of disability where you get a blue placard for your car and you park in a space reserved for people, usually with mobile disabilities like a wheelchair. Now, I did have one for a brief time after I was hit on my Vespa by a young woman making an illegal left-hand turn, and I had to get around using a walker and then crutches. You see, the disability I'm talking about has to do with grief and our ability, my ability, to continue doing what I did before losing my wife suddenly. So my story is this. I didn't know grief could be a disability until a woman that I contacted through another woman luckily told me, call your doctor, your PCP, primary care physician, and tell her to put you on disability. I didn't know what that was, but when I called my PCP, she said, of course, right away, you need to be on it. And of course, I was a bit embarrassed. There was a bit of shame that came out of that I thought, well, wait a minute, I'm physically fine. I can still function, I think. Sorry. I'm starting to feel the emotion that has come from the time when people were helping me. And there's a well of tears building up behind me right now. So if I cry, understand, or if I pause, please understand. But I didn't know. Because there is, for me, and I don't know if it's true with you, a shame, an embarrassment that comes with needing help because of what you or I am going through with loss. And my journey has been hard. Right now, it's only been 9 months since I lost my wife. So my PCP put me on disability. And there's an insurance that comes with that. It's a bit of money that I paid into over many, many years working in California. My work was, for at least 20 years, that of a TV editor, where I sit in front of a computer and I focus 10 to 12 hours a day, sometimes more, 5 days a week, sometimes more, fixing mistakes, trying to make sense out of things that don't make sense, dealing with people who are literally screaming and yelling at times in front of the camera and even times behind the camera, dealing with people who have no idea what they're doing and try to make a sense of something, dealing with deadlines, dealing with intense personalities, and then after finishing, doing it again and again and again. And the ability to focus to do that is always a challenge when you're not, when I wasn't going through grief. So, as strange as it may sound to you, and it still sounds strange to me, grief has affected me physically and my ability to do certain tasks. I can still do yoga, do a little exercise, walk, take the dog out. But when it comes down to sitting in front of a computer and focusing on the work that I've done, and I've done at a level of expertise over the last 20 years, and I realize I can no longer perform at that level, then I know grief is a disability. So tell me, what's your story? How has grief affected your ability to do a job or simple task? If so, you don't need to feel embarrassed. You don't need to feel the shame, even though I do, and realize you're not alone in your feelings. So until next time on Club Grief, I'm going to go cry. I'm wishing you well in your grief journey.